Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone, from a wet and warm Monday evening here in the Bushveld. The weirdest weather, so lightning and thunder, raining cats and dogs. But we're going to make work. For the guys that's decided to join me tonight, a warm welcome. I'm going to have a brief talk about prospecting approach. I often get requests like this. Last week we had a good chat. This week we're going to put a little bit more structure. I'm going to record it if you need it afterwards. And I'll do another one next week. It's very important that you understand the mindset of being a channel builder, because it's more about mindset than actually secret tricks. I'm going to try and teach you a little bit of the mindset. I like to use pictures. I do not work for Deal Point. That means my joke is my own. So if you don't like my accent, I'm sorry. If I run out of English and I go in Afrikaans, Zulu, Xhosa, or a Pedi word, just forgive me. The purpose of tonight is to see if I can't help you, just to give some guidance or how you can approach your team. So the purpose of tonight is to broaden your prospecting and approach perspective, first of all, and secondly, trying to elevate your belief and see if I can't assist you in building a channel. Now, all the way from the Bushveld, I want to start my talk with this. And those of you that's been friends with me for a long time, I've got this saying that I teach all my newcomers. I've taught this to my children. Wherever you are, be there. You know, some people, have you ever met people, they're there, but they're not really there? In Afrikaans, we've got the saying, the little wheel is turning, but the hamster's dead, you know? The type of guy that will call you, you know, I woke up early, but there was no work, you know? So there's always like the half kind of things. Now we're going to see if I can't butter these things up. Guys, I've got a dark sense of humor, a biker sense of humor. Some of you like it not. I mean, if I was looking at prospecting and approaching, I was looking through my old material, and tonight is a very sad evening actually for me, and I'll tell you as I progress when. But I remember when I started giving training, I did this training I think in 2014, and then I did this training in 2018, and by then the stat shows that the average American have about 600 people in his sphere of knowledge. So we're going to talk about, do I know people and where do I get them, etc. And so see if we can't, lift the carpet and just see some more opportunities. Now back to wherever you are, be there. It's good to have a sense of humor. You have to have a thick skin. When I saw this picture, I just have to share it. I wanted to put it in a group. Look at this cop. All units. I stopped the guy that pays our salary in case you want to thank him personally. So imagine that guy getting stopped by every cop on his way home. And the guy told him, I'm paying your salary. But it's important, guys. We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. I've learned that one of the biggest mistakes channel builders or team builders do is that they don't learn how to listen. And that's very important. When I picture this guy, he's standing there in the water and he tells you, well, there's your problem. I mean, everybody can see the problem. But tonight we're going to see how we can get out of the problem, perhaps. I think it was Stephen Covey that said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Have you ever spoken to somebody and you get the feeling you don't reach them? Because halfway through, when they hear something, they start responding and they don't give you. But you've got the same time. If you want to show people the concept that we're dealing with, you get a lot of people that want to make a decision before you had a chance to show them everything. Do you get the same thing? Now, there's a saying, when you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. Okay. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Now, I left my glasses in the bakkie, so I have to use my big screen to the left to read some of the stuff because I can't see and my feet screen. So I'm not winking at you guys. I can't really see what I've written. Now, when I do this specific training, I like, as a practical biker guy, to talk about the 5 gears of channel building. So that means if there's a gearbox in front of you, and those of you that drives are automatic, you need to ask help here. And if you don't know how this is worked, talk to somebody, we will help you. Now, the first gear, when you start prospecting and approaching, is to understand your why. This is arguably the most important gear in your system that you have to work on to get your business started. And that's a good one to start with. Why? Because it's all about yourself. Now you get guys that complains, you get these guys that says, when everything's coming your way, have you ever met people like this? He just complains. Everything is coming my way. Try telling that dude, I think you're on the wrong lane. You know, because maybe you should get out of the oncoming traffic. Because if there's four good decisions and one bad one, you tend to choose that one. I mean, you get the guys he complains about his working environment. He said, or he tells you, I don't know any people, but you visit him at work, it looks something like this. Some people don't have that problem, but he said, we're only two people in the office, but it's just this crowd here. You get one guy and said, my boss is an idiot. You will not believe what that guy expects of me to do, for an income. This is a picture of my office. This picture was actually taken not far from here, but 30 years ago. And I didn't think that I'm going to stay here. And it's funny how your mind works. I remember that day I took a small team of my people to that game reserve and I gave them training. Wouldn't you like to come with training with me one morning that we can chat in the wild? I promise you there were some cookies and coffees as well. I don't go without coffee. And imagine you can work anywhere, from a motorhome, from your dining room table, from your car, anywhere. So why do people get in this extra business opportunity? For most people, it's about the money. And I want to talk slightly about this. Because if you look there, the picture that I've got there is there's 100 Rand, a 200 Rand, a 20 Rand, and a 5 Rand. So there's how many? 325 Rand. It's almost with 4 Rand short, the cheapest product that Dew Point's got. Now, I know with Enterprise that went more expensive, some people had a knee-jerk reaction and said, 699, no, 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 And guys, the medical insurance is 740. That's almost like $60 more. And guys didn't have a problem with that. So if you want to have more value in your product, just take the medical insurance or one of the other products. Or if you want to spend in that region, use two of the cheaper products or go with whatever they are. There's a reason and the design the company does certain things. We need to hook onto that and follow it. Dew Point is still one of the most affordable opportunities in South Africa. If you compare that, more about that later. I want to get into prospecting approach. I had a look and I said, okay, in my life, since I'm doing training, which I've done before, have a look at how much things used to cost. I remember in 1995 when I was giving training, sugar was 6 Rand 76 a kilo. And in 2013, it was 21 Rand 26. Milk was 2 Rand 9 in 1995. 2013, it was 15 Rand. Mince was 16 Rand 40. That's our life. A liter of petrol was 1 Rand 74 in 1995. Look what we're up to in the next couple of days. A bread was 1 Rand 78. In 2013, it was 9 Rand 67. And we were moedig. We said, how can this possibly be? And look what happened. Things just went south. Now, when I use prospecting approach, I'm not going to spend too much time on this slide because I use this in my Zoom, and you're welcome to attend my Zoom tomorrow where you see me use this slide. I like using the truth or dare, the born or death, the lifeline. When you start working, how many paychecks you have. At the age of 40, you only have 240 paychecks, and the problem is your money don't last through the month. Why this is a good thing to use with a prospect? Because it's not about you, it's not about the company, and it's not about convincing. It's about the prospect. Because if you use this example, you'll find that people start thinking about this. And if you learn this trick, especially if you do it one-on-one in a conversation, you'll find that you'll always get attention. If you say to somebody, interesting, how many paychecks do you have left till 60? I worked out yesterday, I've got less than 80. That's not good, eh? So I don't know how much money you have in your account. Ask your broker. But that's a good idea if you know, to talk this, to use it with your prospecting. And of course, we're going to look at a way to change that, because what you want to do is you want to get out of the rat race. Because even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat, isn't this? Now, most people get out in the morning, and this is also a very good prospect tool to use. And they get up, they survive, and they go back to bed. Can you relate to that? Now, using words that people can relate, three pointers is a good way to start a conversation. To say to people, look at the price of the petrol. So what am I going to do today? Get up, survive, and get back to bed. Because this is what most people do. I saw a news article earlier that people, they're going to change something in the law again, that you can access your pension fund and stuff like this. And that's quite a trick because we saw the receiver. Some people, when they access their pension, they're onto them. Huh? If that money is in your account, they eat it. Then there's one big bite, and it's gone. So everybody's looking, grabbing cash. So this is a good idea. So we became a country that's living off debt. And a picture that works well is the one which I use in my team presentations, that living in a fishbowl, waiting from paycheck to paycheck, you know, or not making it. So what I'm going to do with prospecting and approach, I'm going to talk about bricks. And I'm not talking about the current money system that we belong to. Are you carrying bricks? You see, most people, if they go to work when they survive, they've got a plan A, and it looks something like this. It's like going to work and put down a brick. The next day you go again, you do again, and you do again, and you do again. And for the amount of hours and the amount of sales you've done during the month, at the end of the month, there's some kind of reconciliation, and then they pay you. So basically, what you do, your main commodity became your labor. So it means that's it. So at the end of the month, after you've worked through the whole month, you get paid for what you've done. So how does month two look? It looks like this. Why? Because you have to go to work again. You have to do sales again. You have to clock some hours again. Now, the equation, if you write it down, is time and effort equals money. So if you want more money, what do you have to put in? More time and more effort. Now, if you're watching me tonight and you are tired, Katilile, yes, moe, you know, then you've got a problem, my friend, because it means the moment you slack down, your money drops. So, how does this work with dew point channel building? You see, when you've got a plan B or plan D dew point, let's call it plan D for dew point. Plan B and C didn't work, so now you're in plan D. So what you do is you go and you prospect. You bring somebody to the meeting tomorrow night, and whether he joins or not, that's not what you can control. But let's be positive and say he joins. He takes a funeral plan, and that kind of product you pay till the day you die. So there's a little bit of cement or mortar around the brick now. So maybe Thursday night you bring another one, and then you're done for the week. So next week you do it again. So you've got 4 bricks and the month is finished. That's say. So next month, how many bricks is there? There's 4. Did you see that? Month 1, month 2. Just have a look at the little 2. That's the only thing that changed. Why? Because the products is residual products. And this is where the trick comes in. You get a lot of these opportunities out there that promise you residual income. There's no residual income without residual premiums. Yes, if you've got $1 million and you give it to my wife, she's a broker and she invested at one of the insurance houses, you can have a residual income. If you buy a property and you rent it out, but paying a once-off investment, guys, one have to grow up as far as it comes to money. So you've only got 4 bricks. You have not replaced your current income. But if you stick with dew point and you face the negative and you just keep on doing, if you can do just 1, 2, 3, or 4 a month, eventually there will be a wall. And you're going to keep on paying. And now the equation looks like this. You still put in time and effort. The only place you find success before work is in the dictionary. But now you build a system that creates profit. The system gives you leverage. Without the system, you'll never get ahead. You can never retire because you need the leverage component. You cannot retire with a job. Well, only 4% of people can. So 96% safely can't. So in Dew Point, what we do is we do work, but we work more residually based. And this is why you get the type of income that grows eventually. And Brendan, gives you awards, and he says to you, keep it up. Very nice. And he brags about you and try and push you to do even more. He will try and get you to do 10 a day, but you know how Brendan is. So the goal is to have fun, but also profit. Most people start Viewpoint part-time or not at a good space. Most people that look at the opportunity is already their cash flow is not good. So there's already a lot of negativity. Your family and relatives might not perceive you positive, but the idea of the success is to have a little bit of fun and then build up profit. You know, they're saying that success towards anything starts with making up your mind. So the first gear, you have to decide what you want from Viewpoint. Do you want an occasional interest or you want to go big? And there's nothing wrong with the choice you choose, but that's the choice we're going to do. So what can I show you now? Well, somebody said sometimes you can do something and you can guarantee a reaction. So somebody sent me something. If you want your wife to listen to you, just talk to another woman. She will all ears. And isn't that true? So sometimes by doing something, you can actually ensure the outcome. So if you made up your mind and you're going to do Dew Point, and this is what you choose, and you show the commitment for it, second gear is to prospect. There's a prospect. So making your mind, I'm going to do it. Your premium is paid. Because if you knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, it's not kind of like you're going to make up your mind. People say, but I don't have money. Nobody's got money. I sold my guitar and computer when I started Viewpoint. If I tell you what I had to do to pay my premium, it's close to embarrassing. But the reality is unless you learn yourself how to become accountable to yourself, you see, if you skip your premium, you cheat yourself. So unless you can do that discipline, you will not teach anybody that. And then you go out and prospect. Now, prospects, you have to have a name list. And this is where it becomes, because names is a big thing. I mean, look at what people named this boat. I mean, who would name a boat Breaking Wind? I mean, isn't that poop in Afrikaans? I mean, that is, so some guy spent good money putting that name on a boat. But names are the backbone, the livelihood of your business. Now, if your shelves look like this, it doesn't take a genius to know that you're not going to make money, is it? No. So how can I find people? Well, you know that chat GPT guy? You're going to Google fraud. You're going to get ideas. You're going to talk to people one-on-one. You're going to have business cards that you give out. You're going to do a little bit of social media. Do everything you like and that you're comfortable with. Just do something. People will not know that you have a solution if you don't do this. So if you've got a couple of friends in your team, but you don't grow and you don't have names, give each other a hug and say, we need to talk how we're going to prospect. And I would like to see your idea. But there are people signing 10, 20, 30 people a month. You know, where do they get them? They get around. I remember Petunia left her car at home and she drove taxi. 20 people in to work and 20 people back. 40 new faces. But you might say, I'm not driving taxi. I'm not saying, you're not listening. Get a Petunia that drives a taxi. Antoni went to the unemployment office one day and he had something like 30 prospects. We said so many times, go where there's a need. Go to the maintenance court. Chat to the ladies. So this idiot is not going to pay easy. You know, you'll have to take control yourself. And to the guys, you go and say, she's taking you for maintenance again, hey? I've got a solution. Give people a solution and show them, ask them, what can an extra 10 or 20 grand a month do to you? But you have to work on getting a name list. How to find it? You have to Google. If you don't know, talk to me. We're going to do some training as far as it, but it's simple. Guys, my wife sends me to Tiger Wheels to take one of our cars for a drive-through inspection for the insurance. I sign him. She sent me to check because I come back with a prospect. If I sit in a restaurant, I sign the waiter. You know, if I, the other day, I walked past a couple of Cash Crusader guys. I said, are you guys busy? They said, yee, tough times. And we started talking about economies and fuel and transport. And I said, well, if the fuel price go up, does the taxi fee goes up? I said, I corner. I said, well, if the fuel price goes down, as the taxi fee goes down, So it goes up. Sorry, that's the other way around. It goes up, but it never comes down. And crazy world we're living in. Do you have start a conversation and said, if I've got a solution, I've got a friend that needs somebody that helped give him training once a week that can solve that problem. Do you think you can give training? Guy's going to say, what training? I say, well, tomorrow night, Danie is going to give a presentation. It's not difficult, but you need some slides to understand the training. Come over to my house and watch it, or go to his house. Press play on his screen, drink his coffee, use his Wi-Fi, and then you know he's there because you're at his home. He can't run, and uh, and you show him. You know. And the thing is have fun with your names. I couldn't get over that. The wind thing. And look at this one, unsinkable. You know. Have you ever seen people in this business? Have you seen these small business ventures, the funny names? What do you call your team? What are you gonna call your team? Please don't call them breaking wind. But the thing is, you know, but have you ever thought about where you're going to aim up? Have you ever pictured the thought of having 100 people in your team? Now, I know some of you might think at this stage, it's not as funny as I thought. Guys, it's not funny. I mean, imagine going to the library and ask them for the mystery books, and they point you to shelves where there's nothing. Guys, without a name list, you're dead in the water. There are thousands and thousands. Unemployment is one of the biggest problems in South Africa. Overpopulation and unemployment. The only thing is you need a way to start a conversation. And there's plenty that one can do. I'm going to share with you some secrets how to start a conversation. But you need to do this. Whenever I talk to somebody, I get extremely nervous. I don't know. Do you get the same feeling, Lizelle, Linda, Suzette? I mean, it's so easy to phone somebody for a braai. But phone somebody, you do everything. You find that I have to fetch something in the car, and then I do this, and then I remember Sandra asked me for this, and I try and put it off. The only thing that grows your business is offering a solution to people. So if you don't have that uncomfortable feeling on the pit of your stomach, you're not making money. You should chase that feeling. That's actually like a money meter in your stomach that tells you you're busy working. The shelves are stacked in South Africa. Our country is destroyed. I mean, I read an article, and you should try read a lot and talk about what's happening in the news. Uh, uh, I'm gonna try and get the English words for it, but um, the people running the country managed to close so many factories down. So what happened is, due to the cost of electricity, water, poor service delivery, a lot of companies delisted, and a lot of people, just. I think in my Renegade meeting on a Friday, on a Wednesday, guys, how many millionaires left South Africa last year? 9,000. Not 90, not 900, 9,000. People are looking for income. Now, I know there's plenty of guys. You get these ladies with the lashes that tells you don't have to talk to anybody. You just give me a couple of grand. I was a single mom. Now I'm a six-digit income earner, and you don't have to talk to people. And I said to myself, but isn't she talking to people? I don't know. Now you paid 12 grand and you're still talking to people. Looks like you're doing what the deal point does, but we're not going to do that way. But there's a nice training coming with that as well. Yolandi shared something with me the other day that shocked me. They shocked me. I don't know if I can say that, Yolandi, I won't. That you can break it. We actually found out what the program really cost, but that's something for another day. Yeah, but it's like going into a place to buy a toothbrush, and you only had one job, and you get to a shelf and look like this. There are more prospects than the people that is currently in Dew Point can get to in 100 years. There's only 300,000 people in Dew Point. So it means, yes, we know that the majority of people will not join Dew Point. We're going to get to that. But the reality is there's more names that we can actually get to. So you need to make an appointment. But when you make an appointment, there's various ways. You can do social media, which means the guy will come to you, but then you have to tackle large numbers of people. So, I mean, the one which I did on December get 30,000 views, and every second person, Donnie, I don't have work. 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 Do you know how many people I've signed? 14. So the reality is some months I don't get a lot of views, but then people pay better. Sometimes I do better by just talking to people one on one. Now, whether you talk to people one on one, you get them curious on social media, or you get a referral from a friend, doesn't matter. But when you speak to somebody, you must remember to BBCCD it, a person. Just remember, BBCCD it. Now, what does it mean? Whenever you talk to people, be enthusiastic. I've seen some people, it looks like do it, like you've got something contagious. You have to be enthusiastic, but you also have to be timely. You need to compliment always an approach, okay? And you need to come to the point and you need to disclaim these 5 things. Be enthusiastic, be timely, compliment, come to the point, and disclaim. Now, don't mess this up. Okay, so I'll do this as often as you need. If you want me to do this slide, I did this with a late Mike, and I miss him so today. And funny, when I did this training, today is his birthday. And I miss my friend because his face would have been in this room. Mike passed away 7 years ago. He's still earning through Dew Point. But people on a phone is funny. Would you agree? Look at this guy. Don't you hate it when you ask a person, who is this? And he answers, it's me. Hey? Here in the farming community, uh, security is very tight because we suffer sometimes and we're vulnerable and houses is far in between. Sometimes people has got perpetrators on their property and they get this lady, help, they're in my home. And we always say, who are you? We want to help you. We don't know who you are. Just scream a number or a name. We don't know who you are. Because if you radio in help, we don't know who you are. And often people don't realize that communication is the main essence in building a business. Look at this guy. I'm good in you. But the good thing is with the phone, you could be in deep water like this guy. The guy on the other side don't know if you've got shoes on, if your bills is behind or anything. Because most people only get into dew point when it's already that bad. But it's okay. There's a way out of it. I mean, and phones is new to some people. Some people still can't WhatsApp her. I mean, look at these two lighties. They said they call it a phone and they wonder how do you play songs on it. Guys, in my life, you used to sling a phone. Some of you still know how a sling phone works. Today we touch a screen. I mean, technology changed. You have to get comfortable with a phone. Now, a phone, you can spread good news, bad news. I mean, imagine getting a phone call and tell people, well, we just lost a couple of cars. But you don't know it that your voice can actually paint a picture in somebody's mind. The way you speak to somebody, the tone of voice sets it. And I'm going to try and put that in your mind for the next couple of minutes. Look at this lady smiling and this one. Can you hear the smile in the voice? Can you hear when somebody's got a smile in his voice? I mean, I need to overemphasize this because people in my team that really battled finding people. He does everything. He attends the training, XPs, he's got the names, but his closing rate suck. And then he's gone with me, then he goes to Roelof and he comes back to me and he klap hom maar deur Tannie Lenet en almal terug. And then he comes back. And the one thing I see a person that is very bad at prospecting is they don't smile. I mean, I don't know if you can read on the screen. Look at that guy. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Let me step outside. 30 minutes later. Can you imagine a call like this? Something exciting. Just put some sprint in it. Now, when you speak to somebody, you can close half the deal. Now, I don't have the late Mike, but this is a training me and Mike did in 2018. Now, remember, be enthusiastic and be timely, okay? Now, this is how I've used to practice it with Mike when we used to give our team training. Mike, this is Donnie here. I need to speak to you urgently. but is of a personal nature. Mike, can you talk now? You see, if you go to Spar and there's a friend that you've been to prospecting, he's got a stranger next to him, and you walk up to him and you say, Lizelle, do you still want to fire your boss? And he goes, nee, nee. But you don't know the stranger next to her is a boss. So you cannot know what's on the other side of the phone. So you say, I need to speak urgently. Can you talk now? The guy said, listen, I'm in the middle. You don't want to talk to somebody when he can't listen, when he's busy at the ATM, you know. Have you noticed? Your phone always ring when the bottom of your bum touched the bottom of your bath. Or you just want to, when you put your card in the ATM, the phone rings. Or if you want to swipe at Spar, you know, so they say, listen, I'll phone you back in 10 minutes. So do you see what I mean? Enthusiastic, be timely, and then compliment, come to the point. Now I say, Mike, listen, you are an intelligent person that easily create a good first impression. And Mike, I've noticed that people like you very much. Now, then come to the point. Okay, next one. Mike, me and a friend started out an exciting business venture, and we need to expand. We need someone with your personality traits. Would you perhaps be interested in a possible 10 grand a month for a few extra hours per week? So what did I do? Did I tell him what DuPont is about? I compliment them. Now, the compliments must be authentic. Don't go blue eyes or something like this. You'll get into trouble. But so don't pitch people that you can't compliment. But a compliment, look for people that's got that traits. Now, the moment I said, Mike, me and a friend started out an existing business. Whatever Mike's opinion of me is now in half because he doesn't know who the friend is. You can sometimes say, I've got a friend, Danie, that is looking for somebody, and I was thinking of you. Would you mind, Suzette, if I give your name to Danie? I spoke to Danie, and he's doing a Zoom on Tuesday night. Would you like to sit in and see what's it about? Danie said, would he come tomorrow night when he knows you and Danie is waiting for him? Yes. Don't give my number to him, because if 400 people phone me, guys, I won't be able even to go to the ATM. I get guys start watching me 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, I love people, but just sometimes, you guys that know me, I might not take that call then. I would, but it pees my wife up tremendously. She just don't understand that. But the reality is, can you see? Compliment come to the point. Okay, now disclaim. Now, Mike, I know you would like to find out more and probably a lot of questions. So I would like to show you the head office, okay, which we can do. But remember, our Zoom is like our head office. I want to invite you to one of our main meetings that support us, and I want you to meet my senior friend. How about coffee evening next week? This is now over a weekend. So did I put pressure? I put this out that there's no pressure. You might have a lot of questions, but this is what I want to do. It's not complicated. Guy said, explain to me something. Then I said, it's not complicated. It's like Windows. If I sit next to you, it's easy to show you, but over the phone, it's a little bit difficult. Do you understand? So this is why I actually prospected somebody tonight. She actually saw my status 2 years ago. And she didn't, and she saw my status and said, you know what, talk to me again. I said, I remember the face, the voice, the little one on your profile, but I can't remember what we spoke about. And she said, well, I don't know exactly what you do. And I said, well, the best way is tomorrow I'm going to have a Zoom. She said, I've got no idea what Zoom is. I said, well, it's like a glorified video call. So it's just an app. I said, then the easy thing is I'm going to send you the link. If the app is on your phone, all you have to do is push the link and it will take you right into Zoom and you put in the password. So I said, why is there a password? I said, I don't want your boss to sit in with us if you start something on the side. So I said, okay, that makes sense. So I said, but I don't know how the camera works. I said, it's okay. I can put it off on my side. I can also put your mic off. Some of you came into my training undressed. It really happened. Can you remember that night, Rina? I mean, I had this one Germany. I was prospecting him for years. And then that one day that he came, this one lady forgot her camera on and she went for a bath. And I remember Rina said, what the heck? And I thought, what do you mean, what the heck? I'm on a roll here. And then, yeah, it was crazy. And then I didn't hear from the dominee, and then I thought, oh, Griet, But then he didn't see it, and they became part of the business. There was this young guy, he's 18. He phoned me out 11 o'clock that night. I said, Oom, ek's in, and I thought, well, well, that worked. So, guys, so we have a bit of a police system here. So the only thing is with Zoom, it's just easier the sound and the pictures and stuff like this. So I disclaim, and here's Mike. You want to meet a person that's 7 years not in the business? Go watch his training. Guys, I miss my friend. I love the jokes, the traveling. He was just such an inspiration. He was always there. And sometimes I decided to disappear and go to the Kruger National Park unannounced. Because if you work for yourself, you don't have to put in leave. And then I found him there. And then we have coffee. And doesn't matter, it's just the friendship that grew. We didn't braai a lot initially, we just worked. And then the friendship just became deeper. And I wish I can have friendship with you guys that's got the memory of showing up. And go watch his training. He used to be my broker, and that's his wife. She's having his income now. So, yes, so I know I want to do Dew Point. I've managed, did some ideas how to prospect people, and I've tried some stunts to see if I can't get him to the Zoom. When I get to a person, whether I'm taking him for coffee, now in my team, we've got a little one-on-one brochure where you can actually draw on a piece of paper how Dew Point works. That takes a lot of courage because you have to be good at handling objections. Or the main of the best duplication is to get him in a Zoom. Why a Zoom? Because the Zoom, especially, I can't vouch for the others, but mine and my team, it's dead boring. You know exactly what you're going to get, and that makes it good. Why? Because no surprises. You don't want somebody, you know, Brendan is one of the best speakers I've met in my life. That guy, if I have to put a guy on stage, hey, there's nobody else I would pick. That guy's got the gift of the gap. But he's driven, eh? My children they went to his meetings and then he'd tell him, if you can't do two a day, you're not trying. I said, Dad, I'm out. When Brennan said, I'm useless, I said, no, he's just driven, you know? So I don't do that. I've got a soft approach. So check out my approach. Pick your one. Sometimes some of you people must see Brennan because he's fire and brimstone, especially hardened business people. If you have a softer touch, use Rob, or find a leader that you associate with because your duplication is essential. But the thing is, it's boring. I'm so tired of my voice. But a lot of you guys make my meeting work because you join, you comment, and just seeing you and being with you, I sap energy from that, and we're getting paid good money for it. So that's really not bad. So when you go to the meeting, at the meeting, whether you use a Zoom, you at the head office, or coffee, the purpose of the meeting, the main is to create a professional, informational environment. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be articulate. Your language, this is why I know I sometimes run out of English and gooi in Afrikaans Zulu cause of petty word. But somehow it works for me. And it works for you because we sound a lot of people that way. Because you have to have a starting point, make sense, and come to a conclusion. But you have to have an environment what you can control, and you have to create a good first impression. And then we're going to portray the income or the opportunity in a professional way. You need to show excitement. And this is why we sometimes do a little bit of testimonial, share some stories. We've laughed, we've cried. I see some of you have even chuckled tonight. So it's not that bad for you. So when you get to the meeting, the purpose of a meeting is just one thing, to get your prospect to say yes. Because if you're making money, we're all okay. So the only purpose of our meeting is to get people in your team. So when you get to the meeting, okay, be nice, be clean, shave, okay? Sometimes if you say to people, just be yourself, could be the worst advice. Be on time. In a Zoom, it's always good to have a friendly face or picture there. Be there. I love it when you guys comment, Riolet, yes, I'll send you the recording and you can have it or picture. And I mean, look at this guy. This is the type of guy that phones you and said, Suzette, you must help me. I can't find people. And because you're weird, dude. I mean, picture this guy. He says, I can't find the job. Blames the government. When you work with people, you shouldn't be weird. So you have to clean up your Facebook. Your drinking parties and bar fights. Guys, everybody should feel welcome. You know, whether he's a biker, priest, prophet, your neighbor. So have an uplifting professional environment. So just remember when you arrive, be professional. I always laugh if you invite people to meetings, you get the excuses. And guy said, I was partying last night. I almost made it back home. I just touched the stairs. And this guy said, I missed my lift. No, I was on the lift. I don't know, whatever. But you get the darnest excuses. Have you ever invited people? So if they give you excuses, they do to us. It's the way people are. It's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just what people do. Sometimes it's just alcohol. Look at this guy having a good conversation with that statue. Guys, alcohol and prospecting is not a good mix. I promise you, I've been doing this for 3 decades of my life. You need to be sober when you're working. There's a reason. Okay? I mean, look at this guy. Weird. Hi, guys, want to buy some magic? I mean, that guy looks like something that can steal your hubcaps, you know? So don't be weird. Just work in a way that, I mean, look at what would you want to see if you're in a meeting and become this? Or do you get these guys, I call him, the arrogant. Look at this guy, cocaine, heroin, opium, and morphine. We call that medicine and talking about the bygone days, which might be good, but it might not be appropriate for all languages. And don't forget to smile. Do you see I'm back on the smile? I mean, look at this dude. He looks very serious. Would you take something from this guy? What about this guy? This woman? This one? She's almost there. It doesn't look like she could be rude, but what do you think? And this one? Now he looks asleep. This guy, what's up with him? Why does he pull his face like this? And this? Can you see it? Smiling is 80% of your sign up. Just try it. It's the most difficult thing. And 80% of you will not remember it by tomorrow. But try smiling when you speak. Try smiling when you prospect. Sometimes I do the same stuff. They say, when you speak to people, they say, but I've smiled while I'm speaking to them. Look at this smile. Isn't that better? Don't you feel drawn to a person like that? I mean, look at that. I mean, it feels like you want to talk to him. So that's the trick, guys. This is what you have to learn. They say a smile is the best makeup any girl can wear. Do you agree? When you're at the meeting, you're smiling, you show the line. What is this showing the line? It means you have a happy face, even if you don't feel happy. I mean, look at these Zimbabwean billionaires. I mean, look at them. Isn't that funny? Starving billionaire, and they post their notes there. You have to give them credit for their sense of humor. Now, who of you know lions? I've got Linda. She's a field guide. She always posts something. Did you know that lions only succeed 10% of the time when they go hunt? So 90% of the time when lions hunt, they fail. But if you come to my area and you take a stroll in the bush and you go around the corner and you check this lady girl looking like this, what goes through your mind or through your pants at that moment? Your mind says, this is a liu. It's a Tao. Get the heck out of it. You see, mathematics is not a problem. Why? Because you don't care if she fails 90% of the time. She's a lion. And even if she fails, all you're going to get is 100% lion. Fail or win, you're just going to get lion. The problem with prospecting and channel builders, they go not with their emotion. So if people like the idea, they're happy. If people don't like the idea, they're unhappy. So the emotions go up and down. They don't show the line. The idea with a presentation is for you to come and work it. You just want to see, is this name a possibility? That's all. We've got the best possibility in South Africa. Why? It's legal. It's the only one regulated of all 11 regulators. It's affordable, guys, for a fistful of rands. It is easier than most because we don't have stock and stuff like we have to carry. And you deserve a better life. I mean, what are we going to amount to in South Africa? Is we going to be the result of billionaire cartels? Are you going to become what they tell you to become, or are you going to become your own story? It's the right thing to do to take control of your life. And it pays in more than way, bonuses, incentives, holidays, etc. And I can't lose. If I join Dew Point and I do absolutely nothing, I've got a funeral plan. Whoopee. Or I'm saving. Isn't this amazing? So how do I close? I got the guy to the meeting. I'm very excited. I smiled. I brought attitude. I've commented. It's a nice vibe. How do I close? When it's done, what do I say to the guy? Don't ask him, what do you think? Because he haven't thought for a while. His wife does those things for him. So you normally ask a question with this. You say, it's a yes or no question. You say, Mike, can you do with an extra 10 grand a month? That's a yes or a no question. Try that. And if he says yes, you say to him, when would we make the first deduction? The end or the middle of the month? And then you know how to guide him. There's no, if he backs up and says, the handling objections can come. To help you make up your mind, you can always use a 50 caliber handgun. You know, why do you use a 50 caliber handgun? That's if there's a burglar behind your neighbor's refrigerator, and stuff like this. So sometimes handling the objections, don't go too overboard. See how the people watch the training, how to do this. To help making up your mind, you can ask these three questions. Somehow, and my slides it turn out white, so I'm going to read it to you tomorrow. I use it. The three slides that I use, I say to him, what's going to change 5 years in your life from if you keep on doing what you've done today? And second question is, do you enjoy waking up and traveling to work every day? And the last question, are you satisfied with where you are? So if a guy says yes, then you know he's not going to make use of your solution. But the solution is we want people to be in a different place in 5 years. We want them not to travel. We want you. Do you know what's nice working from home? If you open your eyes, you're at work. Hey? If I'm done here, I tell you, from here into my supper is not even 30 seconds. No traffic. Nix. You know? And I hear the owls and the jackal outside. Well, it is not bad, I tell you. Are you satisfied with your income? No, I'm not. But I'm having a meeting tomorrow. I'm doing something about it, so at least I've got a hope. It's like having a deck of cards. Are you still with me? Now, if I can leave a legacy with you, remember me by a deck of cards. How many cards in a deck of cards? 54. How many weeks in a year? 54. So if you scramble a deck of cards and you turn one a week, you're going to get a joker. A joker is somebody that knows everything, done everything, and just harasses you. You're going to run into the jokers. They always laugh and they will never do, and they think you're a nutcase. But if you continue, you might find another joker. They always have a buddy. But you might have a number five. Okay? Five is not a lot, but five is alive. Okay? You come to a meeting, you join, and he pays most of the time. He doesn't do anything, but you've got one guy. You don't feel like an entrepreneur yet, but you go. So next week you invite some more people, and then you get a three. Okay? Three doesn't mean much, but it's there. Let's put this in the boom and the bus between a three and somewhere else, but you've got three. And then you've got eight. Eight is late. Meeting starts 7 o'clock. This guy rocks up 8:45. Can't you do the presentation over? No, but I can't. You go to church on 9 o'clock. You don't go 11:15. Ask the pastor, do it again. Do you have a recording? I don't record my meetings. Why? Because it's important and I share some business secrets. It's not a training like tonight. So the things I do and say that I want to keep it to our team. Otherwise, it's going, all the jokes and stuff will be on Facebook, a dime a dozen, or they take bits and bytes out of it, and then I have to handle objections and stuff like this. So be prompt yourself and get the guy. Then you get Jack. This guy is a jack of all trades. His heart is like a taxi. He's in everything. When something launches in it, That guy joins from Tupperware, Amway, Avon. I mean, if there's a new thing opening in South Africa next week, he's also in that. So he's going to join Point. Just make sure that he doesn't pitch your guys. That's against the code of conduct. He will get suspended, or we're not going to touch or work with you again. And if you do that, when I had people which still earning in my team, but I went to see Brendan and we took all his videos off. He does not exist in Point anymore. He still earns, but you'll find no material of him and he will never get invited to a Converge or anything again because he thinks this is a name list for him for other people's businesses. We don't do this. And when people say to you, don't do this, I mean, you don't take your cake to somebody else's party, put in candles, and when they sing happy birthday, you put your candles and you sing along. That's just not cool, eh? And then if you keep on turning cards, you're going to get an ace. There are four aces in a pack of cards. This is like Petunia or Zendle that sign up 800 people in 3 years. You're going to find people that is going to be better than you and I, and they're going to make you a fortune. They there. Don't tell me in a deck of cards there's not four aces. Just keep on turning the cards. Your job is to turn the cards with a smile showing the lion. Your job is not to decide for somebody. I'm signing somebody tomorrow that said to me no 2 years ago. But I've kept contact because it's okay if you don't have, uh, you know. And then you need to elevate the belief. The belief is to read everything you can. Guys, if you saw what Warren Buffett said about what we're doing, Yanel Law, guys, if you can watch things about Jim Rohn, if you say to me, who's been a mentor for me, Jim Rohn, Jim Rohn, Jim Rohn. That guy, listen to everything you can find of him. He's no longer alive, but his legacy and what I've learned from him, and what I like about these guys, they're not selling their solution to you. There's a lot of people that are exercise bikes. Do you know what's an exercise bike? That's the thing, Christmas, that you see and you look at your stomach, it's as big as mine, and you get this pinch of your consciousness and then you buy the thing. And now as at home, you haven't used it. You keep the kilos low for the resale value, but you've got an exercise bike. Now, there's plenty people in the channel or networking, whatever you want to call it, industry, that's going to say to you, Suzette Lizelle, Basti Linda, you know what your problem is. You need to subscribe to my training. And they do a lot of generalized things. They take your money, it eats your time. The only thing that grows your team is getting that nervous feeling, inviting somebody, following up. Not the amount of training you do. Everywhere. There's Dave Ramsey. I mean, there's guys that earns 12 million a month through what we do. Learn from them. Yeah, listen to them what they say. They say they've got a plan A, we've got a plan B. Some people is going to try and convince you, especially those who don't understand, you know, franchising. I mean, people don't even know what's the difference between direct selling, multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing, a Ponzi, a pyramid, a franchise, or a corporate structure. Sometimes I have to sit down and explain to a guy, and he goes like, "Oh," and I want to say to him, "Yeah, but just because it's got four wheels doesn't mean it's a shopping trolley. It could be a car." But sometimes we don't have that. The lucky thing is about Plan B. You do it from your home with your grandchildren or your children. There's my children. The first time we went to Mauritius, I mean, I was so broke I couldn't even go to a braai. And there's Rudolph's grandchild and my two girls when they were much younger, prettier, and not so expensive. And yeah, and we had a good time. I mean, that's my teenage. Look how skinny I was. I mean, So I must warn you, dew point is slightly fattening. And I started this thing where I take pictures of a drink of my knee and I send it to the people that didn't want to join. I say, "Hi, Niels. Remember that thing that you said, the joke? I wish I could convince you to be you with me. Maybe we should catch up when I'm back next week. Where are you?" Seychelles, Mozambique, Zanzibar, you know, Dubai. Really? You know, there's nothing, it's not luck, it's just consistency. Guys, have you ever tasted a coconut milkshake? It's predominantly on an island. It tastes like, in Seychelles, I find it there. I've tried South Africa, you don't really find it and doesn't taste the same. I think they make it with coconut milk. Yeah, and even some big politicians and stuff like this. People say network marketing. Network People get confused. What's the difference? I'll do some training about this because Dew Point is not a proper network marketing. It's not an MLM because we don't have products that we sell. Dew Point sell. We're more like a direct selling company and you like a franchise holder, but more about this. But some of the concept marry well together. There's books been written. A lot of people lose or leave their jobs and become what we do because you have control. It's more and more millionaires get into our industry like ever. It makes sales like out of this world. Too much to talk about in one time. I mean, look at the criteria. Most people have a job. Now, what's the process of a job? A process is you work for 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, for 40 years, and you retire on 50% of your income. Well, that's a nice plan, isn't it? So the formula is the hours and what you get paid per rand determines your income. And what is the trap? The trap is you're a prisoner of work. And the myth is that there's job security. There's no such thing. The risk is a single income. You don't know when it's going to stop, and when it stops, you're normally the last to find out. It says income is single and it's limited. You can't determine your increases. The stress can increase because they tend to let people do more than one's work these days. And you've got no freedom. Somebody decides when you dress, what you dress, when you have leave. Can you take your child to the doctor? Are you allowed to go to a funeral or not? Leave a legacy? Are you? No. Residual income? No. Then some people get into business, conventional business. Huh? There you work 80 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, and we don't know what the result is. 90% of businesses fail within the first year. So the amount of cash you have versus the rewards you can actually subtract. So what it costs you and what you can actually recover determines your income. The trap is who owns you? Have you got the business or have got the business got you? The myth is I'm my own boss. A lot of people say I'm not my own boss. It's got me. My employees get paid before I do. The risk is capital, and 80% fail within the first year. The income potential, however, is good, but the stress is insane. Freedom, there's none, because everything is your fault. Did you see the new law that came out? If you've got a company with more than 50 employees, they're going to put the BEE thing on you that they're going to determine who you're going to employ. Guys, it's a serious thing. It's complicated if you're a small business. Leave a legacy, it's possible. You can leave something for your children. Residual income is also possible. Then you get the guys that goes on pension. Not many of them, only 4% of South Africa can, but the process is how much pension, how many years have you put away, and how much do you need to live? The formula is what did you earn for how many years, and that determines what you've got left. They always say retirement is a race between poverty and death. The trap is you shouldn't live too long. You shouldn't live more than your pension. And the myth is that you're having fun on pension. In fact, a lot of people find that their life stops. They feel they fit in no more. The people at work weren't your friends, and now you're kind of alone. Not like here. I mean, you could be 80 years old tonight or 18. We're going to journey along fine. The risk is the security of the fund. The income potential is limited by the fund. The stress depends freedom, depends legacy. What is it? If you die before your pension's finished, you might leave something. Is it the residual income? Of course it is. It's a pension. So what if you build a channel? What does it cost to build a channel? Well, you're going to do, okay, 10 hours per week for 48 weeks a year. Okay, and you're going to do that for 10 years. The formula is the quality of your message and the frequency of your message is going to determine your income. The trap is you're going to be happy, living, traveling, loving, and enjoying. The myth is it doesn't work. Guys, Saturday, more people are going to get checks and bonuses. Every month there are new people. The risk is you. If you don't speak to people you know, I'm going to. I promise you, if I get to your family before you do, I'm going to sign them. The income potential is unlimited. Stress is none. Freedom is great. Legacy, of course. I mean, look at Mike. Residual income. Here's a training which me and Mike did. 7 years after his death, you still sit in that. What you have to avoid is parasite mentors. Don't follow people that don't do. Okay, a lot of people want to teach. Just follow those who do. Use your app and website frequently. New blood fixes all problems. If you don't like things in your business, get new people. The next guy can make you forget about all the negative experiences and spend more time with prospecting and applications. Remember the 20-80 rule? 20%, 80% will still think about it, but 20% will join. Presentations, find out when does it happen. Do we see you in presentations? If I go to on Facebook, will I see the last time you've been online? Do you want to do it full-time or part-time? What do you need? And there's it. And if you do it right, the fifth gear kicks and it duplicates. You're going to see some of your people start copying you. Now, guys, we've been at this for 55 minutes. Now, I want to stop my Zoom and say, let's do the rest. But I've got a little bit more that I want to share with you. So if you want to go, I will not take offense. If you've got a little bit of minutes for, I want to share with you something, the making of your own business. Since I record it, then people can watch it. So guys, if you have to go, I will not take offense, but I want to share with you a couple of things. Building your own business. When you start talking to people, selling the concept, it's scary. I've already discussed that. If you don't get that nervous feeling, you're most probably not doing Dew Point. So do you still get that feeling? When is the last time you were nervous? Because that's the test. Your body tells you whether you're doing Dew Point. Now, you're either going to love it or you're going to be uncomfortable with it. I'm uncomfortable with it. It doesn't look like that. I still get butterflies, but now they fly in formation because I've been doing it for 10 years. You can't see it, but I'm nervous if I prospect. Okay. And, or you don't like it at all, but there's no babying around it. You know, babies don't like falling, but they learn to walk anyway. Now, what is fear? Fear is basically what it says, false evidence appearing real. You believe that something is going to happen if people don't join. There's nothing wrong if people don't join. It's like going to Linda or Suzette and say, would you like some coffee? And he says, no. They don't want me. It's nothing to do with you. They don't have a demand for your solution. Now, John Maxwell said, and this is something which successful channel builders do, they don't sit on their assets. John Maxwell said the Lord made us of two ends, one to sit with, okay, and one to think with. Where you're going to end up in life is determined by which end you use the most. This is why in Afrikaans they've got this saying, I dink soos hy gat. It just nails it in Afrikaans. I don't know, in the other languages, is there something like this? He thinks of his ass, you know. But yeah, some people don't think at all. They just switch things manually. If you've got children, yeah, they're messy little ones. So when you start talking to people, look at this. Be consistently consistent. That means there you go, and you speak to your mom, and she's supposed to support you. And all your mom said is, have you spoken to dad yet? Okay. Then you go and you speak to your brother. He said, why don't you get a real job like me? Look what you're doing to your parents. And then try your dad, and he somewhere tells you it's somewhere pot nonsense. And the four people closest to you weren't excited as you in your arts. And you feel like, but they're supposed to do it. It happens. I could never get my parents into Dew Point, and most of my relatives don't even want to look at it. Some of them are really uncomfortable financially, but they were. Some of them has got Netflix and DSTV, but they don't even have a will of a funeral plan. But that's a talk for another day. So what do you have to do? You have to get yourself like this. Get out of the emotional up and down of Dew Point. Chase the feeling in the pit of your stomach, prospecting and approaching. What is your job and what is not your job? Your job is opening up oysters. We know that 10% of oysters has got pills in it. So if you've got 100 oysters in front of you, Nick, Odette, Shani, where's the pills? I don't know. It could be in the first four. It could be in the last four. But what is your job to do? So you put them in a barrel. You must identify them, do the approach, start opening it. And if a person says to you, no, not now, you just put them, you don't gooi them weg and say, voetsak, and I'm not talking to you again. Love them. Go back in 2 years. I'm just checking. I was thinking of you. Are you guys okay? Did you manage to find something? And this is, I sign up people that somebody spoke to 2, 3 years ago, but they didn't follow up because then they were still okay. But now it's serious. You'll find your oysters. Name list. Take an old book. I mean, Paul Ferreira's got a nice book. Use the app on your phone. There's space where you can save your prospects. You must know what to marry in due point. What do you marry? The quality of your message. You say, I do to that. And the frequency of your message. How good can you do an invite? And how often do you do that? You don't have to explain, make it complicated. Just get him in the Zoom. Don't burn bridges with nobody. Okay? Don't burn bridges with your employers. Don't go to your boss tomorrow and say, jy moet lekker kyk, ou, ek gaan jou fire. Okay? That's not very smart. Okay? With friends and family. If they see your commitment and they're watching you, they will turn, even if it takes 5 or 6 years. Don't burn bridges with your spouse. Some spouses don't like dew point. It's not their scene. But as long as you still get coffee, you know, an occasional mislike glance, things are well. If they don't like the crowd, come alone, you know, and build your business. Don't burn bridges with your downline. Don't burn bridges with your upline. And don't get into a fight with dew point. Try and get along with everybody. And don't burn bridges with your prospects. So try and be a likable person that gets along with everybody. Now, sometimes you have to burn bridges. I've actually put this, I'll share this picture. Dysfunctional relationships can demand attention way behind what is appropriate and healthy. There are certain relationships, if you're going to be successful, and it might even be relationships close to you that you have to cut. Because some people are simply not conducive for your mental health and business. And you know, there's that one odd one. I had people that said to me, but we love each other. And I said, no, 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 no. We family, but we don't love each other because the things being done to each of us is not that people that love each other do to each other. And simply because we're related, I cannot allow you to keep on doing that things. I've got no problem. I love you still. I just can't get along with you. And I choose out of the drama. Do I make any sense here tonight? I just said I can't do the drama thing anymore. I want my slice in life where you find that certain people will just burn bridges and take business away from you. Now, when you set your sail, do you know that the same wind blows over every South African? The same wind, same financial wind, same political wind. Now, where you end up is how you set your sail. That was done by Louis and my team that passed away. He did a beautiful training. His team is still there. He's still earning. It's the law of sowing and reaping. If you don't sow, you're not going to reap. Um, Let the odds become in your favor. The way the ANC, I shouldn't mention the name, let's say the way the government and the international politics is going on, they're creating nameless fraud for us. More and more people don't know where to go. So make sure you're doing something instead of nothing. You don't have to be the fastest builder, just do something. Don't confuse activity with productivity. Because some people buy books, they read, they study. The only thing that grows your business is for you talking to strangers. And do that something which you do consistently. And that's it. There are bombs that bombs your business grow negative if you fall into a management trap, which we don't do. We don't manage people here. I had people that said, I'm going to phone my downline and I'm going to tear him a page. And I said, dude, what you're trying to do now, you can get Mahala from home. He doesn't have to pay somebody $300 a month to do that to him, you know. Reinventing the wheel. Use a lot of the things you can do. If there's a good Zoom, reliable, rather use a stronger person's Zoom than otherwise take the stress of that on yourself. The new opportunity bomb is always going to be there. They come and go. It's part of life. Friends and family will not necessarily join your team. Not because of DuPont, because of you. They don't expect the miracle to come. They will take your team, join when you become successful, and you have to learn how to handle objections. There's a lot of objections training about this, how I do it. I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm going to finish with something humoristic, and then we call it an evening, and then I'm going to stop. Always have a sense of humor. You know, why did the chicken, you know, crosses the road. I think Dr. Phil would say, well, the problem we have here is the chicken won't realize that he must first deal with the problem on this side of the road before he goes to the problem on the other side of the road. And what we have to do is to help him realize how stupid he is by acting not on his current problem before he adds new problems, you know. Now, this lady, those of you that know Oprah, she will say something like, well, I understand that the chicken is having problems, which is why he wants to cross the road so bad. Instead of having the chicken learn from his mistakes and take falls, which is a part of life, I'm going to give this chicken a car so that he can just drive across, the road and live his life like the rest of the chicken. Only get this guy, George Bush, he would say, well, don't really care why the chickens cross the road. We just want to know if the chicken is on our side or not. You know, the chicken is either against us or for us. Something Donald Trump would say the same. There's no middle ground here. This guy, Colin Powell, imagine him now to the left of the screen. You can clearly see the satellite image of the chicken crossing the road. Okay. Or what about Ernest Hemingway? He would say something to die in the rain alone. Your grandpa would say, in my day, we didn't ask the chicken why he crossed the road. Somebody told us the chicken crossed the road, and that was good enough. You know, John Lennon would say, imagine all the chickens in the world crossing roads together in peace. Or maybe Aristotle would say the nature of chicken is to cross the road. And then you get this Bill Gates. He will say, I realize e-chicken 2018, which will not only cross roads, but will lay eggs, file your important documents, balance your checkbook. Internet Explorer is integrated now, enable the whole thing for that. Albert Einstein would say, like, did the chicken cross the road or did the road move underneath the chicken? Bill Clinton, he would say something like, I did not cross the road with that chicken. What's your definition of the chicken? Maybe Colonel Sanders would say, did I miss that one? Isn't that? Guys, if you want to build a successful business, stop hanging with chickens, hang with eagles. So I went 15 minutes longer than I wanted to intend it. I can do some more, and I'm going to do another one. I hope you could borrow something, what I said. I miss Mike, and in his absence, thank you, Bud, for the journey I had with you as a friend for the big part of my life. Happy birthday on the other side till we meet you again. And thank you, Lord, for the new friends I have here. And thank you for our journey together. And may we make a legacy and people in future to come use our jokes and sentences and stay in the business for what we've learned. Guys, I'm out of here. Thank you. Dankie. Siyabonga. Kia leboha. Stay safe, stay warm. I love you guys. See you tomorrow night in a Zoom where we make money.